GDP for the third quarter will be released later today. Latha is joining in with us to give us the key expectations from this time's GDP number. Latha?
Well, the CNBC-TV18 poll says that the third quarter GDP will be 6.2%. That'll be a bit of a relief because if you remember, Q2 was 5.4%. And the 6.2 is also because of the big base, 8.6% year ago. You must remember that at the moment, India is suffering a fall in stock markets, not just because of US exceptionalism or the tariff threat. It's also after this 5.4% growth, India is not seen, with that kind of a growth economy. And therefore, this number becomes important. I just want to add that last year's GDP was distorted by net taxes. That will happen this year also. We have to look at GVA, where you take out the impact of taxes and subsidies. If you looked at the GVA, then it is higher than the GDP. The poll is showing 6.3 compared to 6.8% last year. So GVA is likely to be better than the GDP because the subsidies impact will go away. The poll also showed that Q4, that is the current quarter, the GDP is expected to improve to 6.7%. But of course, all this is our dynamic numbers. For the full year, FY25 GDP is expected to come in at 6.3%. And I'm mentioning this important because today, along with the Q3 GDP, the MOSPI, that is the Ministry of Statistics, will also give the second advanced estimate of the current year. Their first advanced estimate is 6.4, that is showing on the chart now. That 6.4 could be downgraded. CNBC-TV18 poll expects it to come in at 6.3%. Now, the numbers which are expected to help the third quarter GDP will be agriculture. That's expected to come over 4%. Construction is expected to come over 8%. And government expenditure will be the best contributor to GDP, is expected to come over 10%. We know that the government has done a lot of capex in December, and that's expected to tell. Now, like I told you, there are numbers other than Q3 GDP which are coming. One will be the second advance estimate of current year, which I told you. But more important is the first revised estimate of last year's number. GDP undergoes revision because new data comes in a little late. So first revised estimate of FY24 and second revised estimate of FY23. Now, the problem with this is if any of these get revised a little higher, then the current year will look smaller. So we have to look at the revised estimates also very closely. They can seriously alter our expectations. So all these numbers become important. But of course, the most important number will be the Q3 GDP and the advance estimate for the full year.
Okay, Latha, thank you so much for giving us the update coming in terms of numbers. What are we watching out for there? Let's move on the